To Curtis Shaw TV, back with another live stream. Happy Friday, people. The sun is shining and the weather is sweet, as the great Bob Marley once said. So we have to make the most of it when we get good weather. But big up to everyone. Hope you are well. The battle for second, people. Forget the title. It's the battle for second for Arsenal. Who will be the best loser in the Premier League this season as Arsenal host Newcastle? Eddie Howe, man, 3 wins against Arsenal this season. No goals scored either. Why did no one get notifications? Why didn't I get notification? I don't know, people. Sometimes YouTube just does me dirty, you know. I'm telling you. I don't know what's going on. Did people get notifications? Let me know. Let me know, people. I mean, there's not a lot I can do about it, even if you didn't, but it's always interesting. But listen, big up to everyone locked in anyway. I got one, I did. Some people saying they didn't. Listen, it is what it is. There's not a lot I can do about it. I don't know why they're doing me dirty like that. But listen, happy Friday to everyone. Hope you're well. Blessings to each and every one of you. Some of you didn't. Some of you did get notifications. But we're here. I haven't been live for a couple of days. I've been busy. I'm just trying to do some things in the background. Been putting out the short content, so look out for that. Video with Ben Jacobs yesterday. There's a few clips going out from that. But I thought we'd get back to business today. Tomorrow, FA Cup final watch along. 4:30 kickoff. We'll be live at 4 o'clock. City against Palace. Come on, Palace. And then obviously Sunday, Arsenal against Newcastle, the battle for second. Big up Big C, went down the Armoury yesterday, picked up the new home shirt, and I love it. Well, as you saw, people, I did put out the new kit review video yesterday. A little bit shameless. You said Kroenke out, but you bought the shirt. I know. On other channels, I don't think you'd be able to get away with that. But on this channel, I think we're shameless enough that somehow I can get away with it. You know, I can. I don't know how, but yeah, I feel like I can. But what I will say, anybody out there that is thinking about whether to get that kit or not, I think it's a top quality home kit. The one that we wore this season, I was never that struck on it. I didn't like the blue stripes down the side. I thought it was okay. This one, I'm going to be honest, man, it's clean. It's very clean. Tax write-off. There you go. And it's for the content. It's for the people. I needed that review. Let you know what time it is, the way it feels. Yeah. Eventually, they're going to win something and we'll have the kit. So it'll be nice. Plus, when you go on holiday, you want to wear your colours. Let people know what team you support. You know how it goes, people. But if you haven't already, go back and watch the kit review. Shamelessly waiting for the cream third kit. Yeah, that kit looks good as well. That does look good. So we'll see. We will see. I like the training kits because I feel like the training kits, they don't go out of date. I know they don't go out of date, the kits, but I feel like once you start the new season, like this season's kit, I'm never going to wear that. Now the new one's out. That's done. That goes in a cupboard. Lock that off. Where I feel like the training kits, you can wear training kits from years ago and they're still good. So, yeah, I'm more of a training kit man. Next day delivery, said E. Ross. I respect it. I'm copying the shirt with Rodrygo on the back. Give us players that we want to put on the back of the shirt. That's what we want to see, people. That's what we want to see. Bring me Gyökeres. We'll take that. Big up Mohammed. Big up C. Big fan all the way from Nairobi in Kenya. I know Robbie and Cecil, man. I think they've been in Kenya all week. They're back tomorrow. Or today, actually. Big up Matt Southern Gooner. Morning, brother. Wish we were playing tomorrow. I'll be rooting for Palace. Got a few of my men's footy league mates that are supporters. So I want another yellow and blue collar second kit. Do you know what, bro? I was thinking this, you know. The weather's nice at the moment in England, right? We got sunshine. Tomorrow, FA Cup final at Wembley in the sunshine. I know we want the Champions League and we want the Prem, but do you know how excited I would be tomorrow if we were playing in the FA Cup final against Manchester City? Can you imagine Man City against Arsenal tomorrow at Wembley? And this is what I'm saying, man. People sometimes think, and listen, I want the Champions League, I want the Premier League, but don't turn your nose up at these competitions, Mikel, because I would love an FA Cup final tomorrow. But I feel like he kind of doesn't go for the FA Cup and the Carabao Cup. It's something I don't agree with. But yeah, it's frustrating, man. It is frustrating. Curtis, if you could choose a name to have on the back of the shirt, who would you pick? I would pick Gabriel. I think Gabriel is possibly this season become my favourite Arsenal player. I don't know why. Never usually is a defender my favourite player, but Gabriel is probably my favourite player. Bro, don't even the weather, pre-game pints in box pot. Do you know what I'm saying? Last time we won the FA Cup, fans weren't even allowed in the stadium. Lockdown, FA Cup final tomorrow, Arsenal Man City. What's going on? Palace, no disrespect, but come on. But I hope Palace win tomorrow, I can't lie. Tarun said, Gyökeres 14, Rodrygo 10. I am here for it. I would love that. It's Gabby's character. Yeah, I'm a massive fan of Gabriel. I can't lie. Listen, let's get into the show. Couple things to talk about. We'll look ahead to the game against Newcastle. And a few other bits and bobs. Team of the season, player of the season, all of that stuff is coming out. Declan Rice nominated for Premier League Player of the Season. Now, if I take away my Arsenal bias, and you know me, I'm very honest, I'm not even sure. Listen, how shall I word this? I'm surprised that Declan Rice has been nominated for this. I'll be real. I think since January he's been fantastic. I think in the first half of the season he was average. I'll be totally honest. We were all talking, is he a 6? Is he an attacking midfielder? Is he a box-to-box? I think until Christmas, Declan Rice's form was very questionable. I have to say, I have no idea how Gabriel is not in this nomination. Not Gabriel, sorry, McAllister. I have no idea how Alexis McAllister is not in this nomination because I think he's been unbelievable. Yeah, Rice has ended up putting in good numbers, and I think the Real Madrid home and away has definitely got him in this nomination. I think Salah will win it just because of the numbers, the assists, and the goals are through the roof. But I think Declan Rice is very lucky to be there. I think if Gabriel had stayed fit, he would have been in there as well. So just for those of you who are listening in and not tuned in on the screen, Gibbs White, Gravenberch, Isak and Mbeumo, Declan Rice, Mo Salah, Van Dijk and Chris Wood nominated for Premier League Player of the Season. Listen, I love to see Arsenal players in there, but I just don't think Rice over the course of the whole season has justified being nominated Player of the Season. English tax, Ross, man, I told you, bro. That tax counts a lot. I think Mbeumo, 18 goals playing for Brentford is unreal. Chris Wood, 20 league goals playing for Nottingham Forest. Unbelievable. I reckon it will be Salah. Maybe Van Dijk, but I reckon Salah will probably get it. And then in terms of young player of the season, and I couldn't believe this. I mean, I don't know what the age bracket is. So when I seen Saliba in this, I was like, raw, Saliba. Like, I don't know what the age bracket is, but he's made it in there. Young player of the season nomination, Liam Delap, Anthony Elanga, Ryan Gravenberch, Dean Huysen on his way to Real Madrid. Cole Palmer, who's been missing for about 15 games, didn't he go, without scoring. João Pedro, Morgan Rogers, and William Saliba. Again, for me, that is Gravenberch or Morgan Rogers, for me, are the two that win this. I think Morgan Rogers this season has been outstanding. And Gravenberch in a new role, he saved Liverpool probably 60, 70 million. So for me, this got to be Rogers or Gravenberch. Foden's gone missing, man. Are we talking about the worst Premier League Player of the Year defence the year after? It's a bit crazy. People saying no, Lewis Skelly. Yeah, do you know what? The only reason maybe, and I don't know how many games this went on for, but remember Skelly wasn't playing at the start of the season. You know, we were playing Timber at left back and Ben White at right back. I can't remember exactly when Lewis Skelly got in the Arsenal team, but he certainly didn't start the season at left back. But I think he should have got nominated. I think Cole Palmer's been very poor second half of the season. He'll get there eventually. I'd probably go Morgan Rogers if I had to narrow it down to one. I think he's been outstanding this season for Villa. Skelly's played 28 games, so he's done a lot. It'll be interesting who they nominate. That'll be for sure. Jan said, how can you get the likes of Ben Jacobs on the show and ask him about the rumours? Great show, though. I thought there is bigger interest in Rodrygo. I only really asked him about the names that we've been heavily linked with, you know. I didn't really... He just sort of told me that off camera. I asked a few more, but he didn't tell me anything that he didn't say on the show, really. Big up Jan. Faisal said, Gyökeres or Sesko? No, we're allowing the club to not even push for Isak. Says it all. I don't care if we overpay. Arsenal fans have overpaid for decades. I hear you on that, but if the price is 150 and Newcastle aren't budging from that, and even he said if they get Champions League football, I don't think there'll be any negotiation. Number one, is Isak worth 150 million? And number two, would Arsenal pay that? Would anybody pay that for him? I don't think they would. So I'm with you that, yeah, if Isak's available at 100 mil or 110 mil, they should be getting him. They paid 105 for Rice, who's a 6. But I think 150, I just don't think anybody would pay that for Isak, to be honest. Lawrence says, genuinely would prefer Rodgers than Rodrygo. He'd be unbelievable for us. I am a big fan of him. But I think probably next year maybe clubs could start moving. He's got so long on his contract. I think a lot will depend on if Villa make the Champions League or not as well. So 150 plus agent fee and wages close to 300 million. I got to be honest. I want Isak at Arsenal. He's not worth 150 million. He's just not. Not in this market. Not with PSR. You can't. If you pay 150 million for a player in this day and age, you've got to be signing one of the best footballers in the world, like by far. And I love Isak, but he's not worth 150 million. Let's keep it a buck. But if you can get him for maybe 120, 110, then I think Arsenal would have to look at it and see what they could do. Before we do get into the show, and we've done this time and time again on this channel, but I have to reiterate this again. I've got to say thank you and give a round of applause. Because I believe we are witnessing greatness. And Henry, you've wrote it there straight away. Every time I watch this guy play football, I say thank you. And the reason I say thank you is because for me, you are saving football at the moment. This kid, Lamine Yamal, is like Superman. That's Clark Kent right now. Because football is in the gutter at the moment. I'm sorry. Boring, U-shaped, micromanaged football. This guy is just a phenomenon. He's one of the best teenage footballers I've ever seen in my life. Unbelievable. He reminds me of Mahrez with a hint of Messi. Just a hint of Messi. I have not seen a player like him for years. Now, I'll be honest. This is how good he is. I went online last night to buy that Barcelona shirt. I said, you know what, man? Summertime, you can wear shirts from clubs of abroad. I said, I got to get that Barcelona shirt with Yamal on the back. He's that good. I actually can't find the shirt. It's sold out everywhere at the moment. He is unbelievable. The new camp reopens next season. I am going to that stadium next season to watch that guy play. That is what you call generational. That is what you call generational. Man said, Curtis, and you rate Saka? Of course I have to rate Saka, bro. He does his thing at Arsenal. He does his thing at Arsenal, man. He's not. We know he's a more coached player, you know, micromanaged. Big up Akeem from a business standpoint. Isak name isn't big enough. No, it's not. You pay 150. It's not like shirt sales are going to break barriers. He's still kind of, I don't know how well known he is worldwide, Isak. He hasn't really done it in the Champions League, hasn't done it in an international tournament. But nah, this guy, Lamine, one of the best footballers I've ever seen at the moment. I don't know what level he's going to reach, but what I'm seeing at the moment, I think he's one of the best footballers I've ever watched. Considering his age, the confidence, nah. Mahrez with a sprinkle of Messi. That's what I see when I watch him play. Phenomenal. 150 million for Yamal. I think you'd have to pay about 500 million to get him. The nostalgia watching you and Laurie link up took me back some years. Talk is cheap. Oh, yeah, the live show the other night, AFTV. It was a good one, man. It was a good one. Matt said Yamal has that sprinkle of stardust that we used to see with ballers in the late 90s. I'm telling you, and I don't want to sound like an old man again, but you can tell Barcelona are just letting him play. They're not trying to tell him, yo, when you get the ball past to him all the time. He's getting the ball. It's like, yeah, I'll drift past you. You know what? I feel like shooting. Bang. There you go. Top corner. Yeah, just like let them play. Let them enjoy themselves. He just looks like he's having fun on the football pitch. It looks like he's playing on the park with his mates. This is the problem in football nowadays. Coaches are trying to be too relevant. This is one of the biggest problems in football. I can guarantee when Wenger was at Arsenal 5 years ago, we never knew who the set-piece coaches were. We didn't know who the fitness coach was. You just about knew who the assistant manager was. That was it. I knew the manager. I knew the assistant manager. The rest of it, sit down and relax. Now you've got set-piece coaches standing up for airtime on Sky Sports. Yeah, do that, do that. All right, he's going to whip it in and try and head it in. And they're painting them. Just let them play. I'm telling you now, coaches feel too important nowadays. They've gone away from that freedom of expression because they see it as too much of a risk. Oh, you lose the ball too much. You know? It's crazy. How come growing up, JJ Kocher and them, man, there, look at the... And that was with Sam Allardyce, you know? Football freedom. Yamal is football freedom. I haven't seen a player play with that sort of freedom since, like, Ronaldinho, Neymar. Them man there who look like they'll do whatever they want. You know? That's why Waneri is regressing. He doesn't dribble anymore. Well, maybe the coach is wanting him to not do that. If Arteta had Lamine, he'd make him into Solly March. He'd be a workhorse, bro. You're right. And Owen said, couldn't even bring Max Dowman into the team in January. The guy looks promising. 15 goals in 15 games. Big scout saying he's special. You think about it, really, the last couple of games, you might as well throw Max Dowman on the bench for Arsenal. We got nothing to play for. And just go and just give him a chance. Heard you interviewed Ben Jacobs. What's the world in the industry? Oh, he's been on here plenty of times, bro. Go back and watch that video. I'll put some clips out from it today as well. Arteta would ruin Yamal. I wouldn't have confidence. Anyway, let's see if he gets his targets in the summer and then see. Ronaldinho's literally my favourite player of all time, says Dens. I think everybody loves Ronaldinho. It was impossible to dislike him. He was just pure joy of football, wasn't he? Anyway, speaking of Brazilian wingers from La Liga, Rodrygo. The move looks like it's gathering a little bit of momentum. We're now getting official sources. The Athletic, one of the mouthpieces of Arsenal, Mikel Arteta, is a big fan of Rodrygo and has given the green light for Arsenal to try and sign him. However, an agreement is going to be difficult, which I think we all expected. I think we all knew that a deal would be difficult. However, I mean, even Ben Jacobs said yesterday there is a feeling that at the right price, Real Madrid are willing to cash in on him. The initial reports were saying 100 million euros, which is 84 million pounds. But surely with a little bit of negotiation, I mean, let's just say, for example, 75 million. I think you've got to go for him. I think you've got to get him signed. It's funny, I put a video up the other day saying why Arsenal have to try and sign Rodrygo. It was probably about 60-40, 70-30. There were a lot of people saying, listen, unbelievable signing, get him. There were some people saying, I'm not sure, the numbers aren't good enough, blah, blah, blah. My defense of Rodrygo, why I think Arsenal should sign him. I think you have to kind of let him off the hook a little bit when it comes to the numbers. This is a left winger playing right wing. Most right-footed wingers play on the left. Most left-footed wingers play on the right so that you can cut inside and have that shot. It enables you to score more goals. Think about back in the day. Most wingers were playing on the side that their foot was. Giggs on the left, Beckham on the right, Lundberg on the right, although Pires was on the left. I think Rodrygo's numbers would go up if he played on the left. He's an elite dribbler as well, by the way. Elite. You've seen it. You saw his goal earlier in the season against Atletico in the Champions League. He's an absolute baller. He's an absolute baller. For me, I said it many times, Kvaratskhelia was the one we missed out. It's got to be Rodrygo for me. I don't want Nico Williams. I do like Rafa Leao, but he's inconsistent, but I do like him. I think he's got massive potential, but he's quite lazy, and I don't know if Arteta would work with him. I think this has got to be the one. It's got to be. Somebody put in the chat, he's a Real Madrid reject. Not in this chat, but in that video. And I said, well, you could say the same thing about Alexis Sanchez. Was he not a Barcelona reject? Because they binned him. And he's one of our best players we've had in the last decade. Ozil was binned by Real Madrid, you know? So if you're going to buy rejects, buy Real Madrid rejects. Don't buy Chelsea rejects. Like, you know, Havertz. So, yeah, if you're going to go in anyone's recycling bin, go in the Real Madrid one. They got superstars there. This is the club that binned Robben and Wesley Sneijder and all these players over the years. So, you know, this is the place to go if you're going to. Jan said, I'd take Rodrygo over Nico or Leao. Broski is young and very sharp, 24 years of age. If you had to, who are you sacrificing to get this done? I mean, I spoke about it the other day with Turkish, and I said, look, on the left side, I would get rid of Trossard and bring in a winger and keep Martinelli as the backup. But if you put me in a situation where you said, look, for Arsenal to buy a Gyökeres, to buy a Rodrygo, we've got to sell somebody for a big amount of money, I would swap that left wing situation around and get rid of Martinelli. That's what I would do. It can't be Gabriel, it can't be Saliba, and no one else of that high. Obviously, there's players like Havertz that I would get rid of. But my argument is, if Arsenal do business properly, if you sell Zinchenko, potentially you could sell Kivior unless they want to keep him as a squad player. Zinchenko, you can get rid of Trossard, you can get rid of Havertz, I would, but they probably won't. And then your loan players. You get rid of Sambi Lokonga, you get rid of Reece Nelson, you get rid of Fabio Vieira, Nuno Tavares already obligation to buy. You can make money. I reckon Zinchenko, you could get 15 million, right? 15, 16, 17 million. 20 if somebody really wants him. We're getting 8 million for Nuno Tavares, so you're already at 25 million. Let's say you get 10 million for Sambi, that gets you to 35. Get 10, 12 million for Reece Nelson, English tax, you might be at 45, 47. And then maybe you get 20 odd million for Trossard from Saudi. That gets you to like 70 million already. And then I think there's other players you can get rid of as well, to be honest. You look at players like Marquinhos. Like I said, Kivior could possibly go. Listen, I think we might have to... I think a big player might leave Arsenal this summer. I don't mean big in terms of like Gabriel or Saliba, but I think they might have to sell like a Martinelli, to be honest, because I think the books will need balancing. Tierney will go on a free, which is a shame. Fabio Vieira as well. Again, yeah, you would hope you could get 10, 12, 15 million for him. So, yeah, man. Bojan said, big up, Big C. Hope you and your family are blessed. Appreciate that, bro. Loving the new short form content as I can't always watch the live streams. We're going to be doing that a lot. We're going to be doing that a lot now, so look out for that. If I get a long stream out, we'll then clip up a couple of videos, put that out for people that haven't got time to watch the hour. You can just maybe watch the short form, which will be the best bits. Rodrygo is a baller. He'd get demolished in the Prem. I'm not sure, you know. A lot of people have said that he's a bit lightweight, but what a dribbler, man. What a dribbler. Anyway, we'll see. We'll see. Arteta wants him. For me, it's a no-brainer. The left-wing market is weak at the moment, people. Like I said, we've had this discussion many times. What left winger should we buy? And we name about 10 different people. What that tells you is that there's no clear, obvious... If I said to everyone now, what left winger should we buy this summer? You're going to say Leao. You're going to say Nico Williams. You're going to say Rodrygo. You'll say Semenyo. You'll say... You know, there's loads and loads of names. Rodrygo, there's loads. And that's because the market's not that good. It's not that good, people. So we'll have to see. We'll have to see. What I will say is I would much rather sign him than Nico Williams because I don't rate that guy. Rafinha would be good. Maybe if Nico Williams went to Barca, we could get him. Logical Nonsense says Rodrygo is easily the best left winger potentially available. I think a lot of clubs will go for him as well. Semenyo's interesting because Ben Jacobs was mentioning yesterday that Arsenal are interested in him. But they will want a high fee for him. Obviously, with Howson going to Real Madrid and Kirkez being linked with Liverpool, there's no real need for cash. Yeah, Mitoma's another one, but I think he's sort of fallen down the pecking order, hasn't he, the last couple of years. Joel Aussie Gunner says, great to catch you live, Big C. Let's hope we do indeed have that big summer. Every summer we need a big summer, at Arsenal. But most summers But I think this year, Barcola's another one. I think he could be gettable. Apparently, he's not happy with his situation at PSG. Obviously, Doué is ahead of him, and apparently there's frustration that he's not getting first team football. So he could be somebody that we could go for. Anyway, it's the return, people. It's the return. Are you not excited? If you're not excited by this, nothing will get you excited. Think about Shrek. Think about the character that's using Eddie Murphy's voice, people. He is back, and he is probably going to be back tomorrow. I can just feel the excitement through the screens of the community, people. Forget Isak, forget Gyökeres, forget Rodrygo, forget Leao and all these exciting. Who needs an exciting summer when you've got Arsenal's very own number 29, people? Number 29. I almost forgot he played for Arsenal. But he's back. Donkey! He is back, people. Mikel Arteta on whether Havertz could feature against Newcastle on Sunday. We are going to decide that tomorrow. He has done certain parts of the sessions in the past 2 days. He looks in great shape. There is like a new signing. Anyway. Barcelona got the GOAT, Messi. We got the donkey, Havertz. Yeah, we picked the wrong animal. We did try and sign Messi, actually, but he rejected. We got Fabregas. Still a great signing, but yeah, Havertz is back. How do I feel about that? My mindset is different to the mindset of Arteta. So my mindset of Havertz being back is great. We get him back before the end of the season, which means we can sell him because he's now injury-free. What Arteta probably thinks is he's back. I'll have him ready for next season. No matter who I sign, I'll get him in the team somewhere. So, yeah. Yeah, I think I am, Ice Age. I'm actually being disrespectful to donkeys at this point. I've disrespected Dundalk Football Club, and I'm disrespecting donkeys. Havertz is back. Now, Marino's suspended for Sunday, so I reckon Havertz will get game time. I would expect Trossard or Martinelli to play up front, and probably Havertz comes on later in the game and gets a few minutes. Curtis, you're always cooking Havertz. Do you know what it is? I'm going to be totally honest. I never mean anything by all this. It's not personal. It's a coping mechanism. It's my way of basically saying, I hope they sell you, but while you're here, we're going to find some comedy as a coping mechanism. I did it with Eddie and Nketiah, Sherman Klump, Eddie Murphy, Axel Foley, and now it's Havertz, the donkey out of Shrek. He actually said his nickname is Donkey, so I'm actually calling him his nickname. And I've said this before, people, and I will say it again. On the tour, Havertz is one of the coolest Arsenal players out of the whole squad. I mean it genuinely. Stops all the time, has a laugh, cool guy. It's not personal, people. It's not personal. And I'll probably crack jokes with him on tour in the summer. But the moment he goes down that corridor and gets onto the coach, in my head, I'm like, yo, respect, brother. You're a cool guy, but get to the airport. Bayer Leverkusen's waiting for you. Same thing with Arteta. Arteta on the tour, cool with me. Give up his time, had a couple chats with him. Yo, respect, man. Good luck for the season, Mikel. Get rid of that cone, man. I'm like, it's not personal. I'm a football fan. I just want my team to win. I'm not putting posters on the wall of these players. This ain't Thierry and Dennis. It ain't personal. I can shake their hand and say, yo, respect, man. I appreciate that. Big up, blessings each and every time. Yeah, I hope we get rid of him in the summer. This is how it goes. It's business. It's business. I ain't going for a drink with these guys. They're not my friends. He's Neil from the In-Betweeners. He actually is. That is actually a banger. Anyway, he's back. 29's back, people. 29 is back. Imagine they watch this. Because I know some of the staff from Arsenal do. They're probably thinking, get this guy off the tour. But we will be there, people. We will be there. And we will be in the press conference asking questions. I had some guy on Twitter the other day, right? It's funny. I said something about Arteta not being good enough. And he was obviously an Arteta fan. He was going, why didn't you say all this to Arteta in the press conference? I thought, like, does that actually need explaining? Like, these people want me to go in the press conference and go, Mikel, you're not good enough for Arsenal, mate. I think we should get Zidane in as manager next season, or, you know, Simone Inzaghi. You know, and while I finish that sentence, I'm being escorted out of the press conference and banned from all future press conferences. Andy doesn't answer the question anyway. So that's what they actually expect me to do. Why don't you tell him that in the press conference? That's what they want me to do, people. It's interesting. It is interesting. I like the responses on Twitter. They're very intriguing. They really are. You know, they very are. I don't know if you lot know, but I think we've told you this before. But if you don't know, and you won't mind me telling you this, it's only banter, right? So last year, Bavs came on the tour. Bavs had never been in a press conference with us. So we turn up for the press conference. And Babs is wearing an Arsenal shirt in the press conference. We obviously we didn't know who's going to be in the press conference, so we never had the conversation. So anyway, you're not allowed to wear any football shirt in the press conference. I don't think you can wear any sports shirt of any kind in a press conference, right? So Babs wearing the new Arsenal shirt in the press conference. So we're all sitting there. Right, we're all sitting there, it's silent, you know, because the guy comes out and says, like, Mikel's on his way. Like, so when he's like 20, 30 seconds from the room, he'll be like, right, Mikel's here. So everyone will sit down, turn your phones off. You sit there in silence, right? So we're all sitting there, and Arteta walks in, and he sits down like that, and he comes in with his security guard. Security guard's looking around the room. He looks at Bavsy and he's like squinting his eyes at him. I'm like, what's wrong with this guy? Because Bavsy's sitting near me. So I'm thinking, is he looking at me or something? He's squinting his eyes. He comes over to Bavs. Little whisper in the ear. Bav stands up, escorts him out of the room. Looking like Cuba Gooding Jr. in that meme where he's getting taken out of the room. Arteta, remember, Bavs is a serious Arteta fanboy. He won't mind me telling you this. And the man is getting escorted out of his first press conference ever, while Mikel Arteta's staring at him get left out of the room. I said, 5 things we learned from a press conference. Never wear an Arsenal shirt. I said, raw. Man's being escorted out of the room. And that's his hero, Arteta, up there looking at him. I said, you can't write it. You cannot write it. I'm telling you, people. Anyway, ask him about it if you watch his videos, man. But, yo, what a moment. What a moment. Man said, listen, sir, can I have a word with you outside? And he never cared. And he stood outside the room watching the press conference in his Arsenal shirt. You just can't. You can't write things like that. You just can't write it. Anyway, 5 things we learnt, people. Never wear an Arsenal shirt in a press conference or you'll be escorted out. Anyway, let's move on. Owen said, I'm convinced we're going to see Tomiyasu on one of those police body cam videos being kidnapped. Where on earth is that guy? That guy's chilling, bro. That guy's absolutely chilling. He's picking up his racks. Racks and racks he's on, man. 100 grand a week to do nothing. Played 6 minutes. I've heard dish tunes longer than that. It's madness. Realistic spending would be Simmons, Zubamendi and Gyökeres. Xavi Simons is expensive now, though, man, because Leipzig paid big money for him. Alfred, Arsenal fans are the only fans who thinks if you aren't big and strong, you can't play. All you need is pace for the Premier League. It's not a technical league. Most wingers are smaller, faster, and good. I mean, look at Raheem Sterling. Not this Raheem Sterling, but Sterling when he was at City and Liverpool. Quite lightweight. He probably had that inner yard man strength, but you don't have to be that strong, especially wingers, because wingers are usually on the move. They're quick. So I think that Rodrygo would work in the Prem, but who knows? Who knows? Arteta Sunday. Arteta was just staring at him. It was madness. Anyway, big up Bavs though, man. But geez, what a story that was. Man said, "Can I have a word outside?" And then just locked the door. Anyway. Let's move on. Arteta's press conference has been happening while we've been live, which is so annoying because I actually didn't check today what time the press conference was. So we're going to try and get some of the clips up because I don't think the whole transcript is on the website yet. These are the comments that wind me up, right? And I get why he's saying this, but 2.1K in the chat. Big up, man. Make sure you hit the like button. These are comments that frustrate me, right? Mikel Arteta on if he has any regrets this season. He said, "I will give you my word that we have tried our very best. I love the incredible things that this team has done. Again, in the circumstances that we have played in." Now, that comment there from him is everything that I have a problem with. Everything that I have a problem. And some of you might look at that and think, you know, it's not really saying much wrong there. I have a real problem with what he's saying there. Because number one, there's no accountability. There's nowhere where Arteta comes out and says, I did something wrong. I could have signed better players in the summer. I could have made changes in games. He could have taken... Something's gone wrong. This season, something has gone wrong at Arsenal because we are not in a final. We are not winning anything. Even Crystal Palace have got an FA Cup final. Newcastle won a final. Chelsea are in a final. Liverpool have been in final. Everybody's hitting finals. Tottenham and United. We're not. So that means something's gone wrong. There's no accountability. I love the incredible things this team has done. Okay, fair enough. Madrid and things like that. In the circumstances we have played in. The thing what I can't take, Arteta's acting like the rest of the league has a certain set of rules, and then we have a set of rules different to everybody else, and ours are more harsh than everybody. That's how he's acting. Oh, you know, he said the other day, I'm running out of players. You've got a 25-man squad, and you only registered 21. So you chose to leave the squad short. You said you wanted a smaller squad, easier to work with, easier to manage. Then you're crying about it. Also, look at those squad players. Zinchenko hardly plays. Raheem Sterling convinced you in 10 minutes, yet you never play him. Waneri, you've banned him for dribbling. It feels like that anyway. Kieran Tierney, lad, he never gets a kick. Norbert Neto, you might as well sign Norbert, Eddie Murphy. So when you've got squad players, you don't play them. So no wonder they're all knackered. I don't understand it. I don't understand it. It don't make no sense. Them quotes drive me insane, people. I might sound like I'm going over the top. I just want to hear him come out and say, I've made mistakes. I think I should have done things differently. I could have had a bigger squad this season. I could have recruited better. Tactically, I need to learn. I need to improve. Take some accountability. Something went wrong. If you do your GCSEs or your exams and you fail, you're either not clever enough or you didn't revise well enough. Something's gone wrong. We need to know the reason. Right, we have got the full transcript. So let's get some waffle. I don't want to leave the people them hungry, you know. Waffle settings. I don't know what the hell you're smiling about, mate. I don't know what you're smiling about. It's an FA Cup final tomorrow and we're not in it. Title race been over for about 10 weeks. You're walking win the dog past the Sky cameras. I have to watch Lamine Yamal and basketball to actually see some proper sport at the moment. Anyway, Anyway, people, let's get into waffle settings. You know the scenario. If he waffles, we skip. I'm going to apologize in advance to everybody tuned in. This may get very boring. Oh, look, Calafiori's advertising the kit. Armani model settings. And if Kai Havertz could be involved, we're going to decide that tomorrow. He's done certain parts in the last 2 days. Looks in great shape. I think it's more of a shout for the medical staff, the doctor, especially to give the clearance, and then how Kai actually feels. March, April, May. Yeah, 3 months. He's back in 3 months. So Saka got injured in December, came back in April. So January, February, March, returned in April. Yeah, he got injured in Feb. Most of Feb. March, April, back in May. Yeah. How much credit Kai deserves for getting back quickly. It's unbelievable. His work rate and the work he's done. A lot of credit to the medical staff for the work they've done throughout the last few months, because between them, they've been pushing each other. We know how important Kai is for us. Trying my best to remain respectful here, but I have 1 or 2 disrespectful comments in my mind. I think we'll leave it. I don't want to joke about injury, definitely not, but Kai Havertz's importance, not so sure. The fact he looks in great shape, I think he's improved a lot of the metrics that are very important for a striker. So you're now calling him a striker. When you signed him, you described him as a midfielder. So he is a striker now, right? So I don't expect to see him in midfield, ever. And in terms of up front, we replace him. To give himself the best chance, you see the transformation in him, which has been impressive. He loves that guy, don't he? On injury updates for Rice, Trossard, Martinelli and Timber, they've done parts of the session, not a complete session. We're going to have to wait and see tomorrow if they deal with things they haven't done because they weren't ready at the end of the week. I saw that was an open training session. I don't know who that was open for, but Havertz will be like a new site. If Havertz comes back and scores, we're doomed. We'll get Sesko. I'm telling you. On how deep the players have had to dig this season. It's been a phenomenal effort from all of them, understanding the circumstances. Oh, God. The circumstances. Let's see if we get one bit of accountability in this press conference. It's our chance to wrap up the Champions League, to put ourselves in a strong position for second place, and in a way to say thank you for our supporters for the amazing season. There's nothing amazing about it. We've won nothing. Couple good nights against Real Madrid and a good win against Man City. They've been on every journey in every ground, making the effort to travel with us everywhere and at home. I think it's one of the best days in the season when you have to just say thank you to them and they can say what they feel. Yeah, they should be booing. And if the players have one more big performance in them, they do. Not one, we need 2. Now we're going to start with that one. We're going to need a big one and be clinical because we know the qualities of Newcastle. We know the results that we had lately against them, how thin the margins are with them, especially how clinical they've been in front of the goal. Yeah, because they got a great striker and we haven't. On the importance of finishing runners up. You're right, Reams. This is unlimited waffle. This is an all-you-can-eat restaurant. Just come in and have as much waffle as you want. The man has actually said, what an amazing season. Let me actually... For the amazing season. Say thank you to our supporters for the amazing season. You know, sometimes... Michael Jackson said, I'm starting with the man in the mirror. I'm asking you to change his ways. Sometimes, you know, off air, off the stream, I sit back and I go... Am I too harsh on this club? Have I not moved with the times? Am I stuck in 2000 and 2000? Remember when we all thought everything, all the technology was going to blow up when we hit the millennium and then it turned midnight and nothing changed? Am I stuck in them times? MSN Messenger, LimeWire? Because I don't understand a manager calling it an amazing season when you were trying to win the league and you finished second. And you're 15 points behind Liverpool. I don't get that. I'm confused. I feel like football has changed in a way that I don't even understand it. We're 15 points behind the title winners. They said if Pep's team fell off, we'd clean up. We ain't cleaned up nothing. The place is a mess. Win the Dogs dumping all over the training ground. LimeWire was lit back in the day. That Piff as well. Remember that? Anyone remember that? Downloading mixtape. I can't take this guy seriously. I can't, be serious, bro. On the importance of finishing runners-up, you have to be as good as you possibly can. The dream of winning the Premier League this season is gone. So as we said, be the best of the rest and feel that pain to be better. I mean, how much more pain can we take? That's 3 seasons in a row. On the players potentially saying their home farewells on Sunday, wouldn't like to talk specifically about anybody. There are a few cases and we will try to show our gratitude, how much we love them, how much we appreciate the time we've been together. Hopefully our supporters can do the same. On his feeling, reflecting on this season, until we finish the last game and I get that feeling in some time, I prefer not to do that exercise. But you just told us it's an amazing season. On if Newcastle are a bogey team for us, they're a difficult opponent for any opposition. I think what Eddie, the staff, and as a club they've done over the last few years is remarkable. They've been very consistent and difficult. So, again, you're waffling. Rather than just saying, yeah, they are a bogey team, they've slapped us up 3 times this season. What makes Newcastle so difficult? They dominate almost every aspect of the game. They are great when they have attack. When they have to attack a low block, they have a lot of presence. Let's skip it. Look at this. Relive 6 memorable wins against Newcastle. And they're showing pictures of Ray Parlour playing at Highbury. That's how far, because our team ain't been beating them. How special the atmosphere has been at the Emirates this season. I think it's growing and growing. That's what we want to do. I think we've raised expectations. I'm skipping it. If the increased expectations leads to increased pressure, he said it has to be, and especially internally. I think this is how much you demand of yourself, how much we demand of the next person next to him, and the crowd and support is always a big measure, blah, blah, blah. Then we'll get better at the small margins that can define winning big trophies or not. And if he has any regrets, I wouldn't use that word. I think you probably have regrets in your life and anything that you do in professional life as well when you haven't done your best. I can guarantee and give you my word that we have all tried our very best. If you ask if we wanted a different outcome, especially with how close we've come again, then the answer is yes. But that doesn't undermine a lot of incredible things this team has done again in the context that we play. So we're playing in totally different circumstances to everyone else, according to Mikel. Against the opposition that we play, with the circumstances, there's that word again, that we had. It's impossible to undermine. Honestly, I can't wait for the season to end. Genuinely. Can't wait. I need at least 2 months of no press conference reaction. The pity party that this guy is doing. The circumstances, the context. He's basically saying we've done our best, so what more can we do? So you couldn't tactically do anything better against PSG? Couldn't do anything? I can't wait for the season to finish. Whether he gets credit for how far he's brought us over the last 5 years. Here we go. I don't know, but it's not something I'm looking for. I'm looking to give my very best to facilitate and to give my vision, my work, and bring people together to get this club as far as we possibly can, as quickly as possible. I guarantee you that's what I've been doing for the last 5 years. I don't doubt that, but we need trophies. I bet somebody needs to ask him about trophies. If William Saliba has developed into the player we thought he would, yeah, he's on an amazing trajectory. I think when you look in Europe, centre-backs at this stage, what he's already done, there are not that many. There are a lot of factors that have contributed. The first one is his character, his professionalism, how much he demands. The second is the environment he's got around him, the players he plays with, the way they look after him, promote and hide the qualities and weaknesses of a player. There's still much more to come from him. Could make his 100th appearance. And if this summer is big for Jack Dowman and Jack Porter with the England under-17s, it's the biggest tournament that exists in the world for them. When you play your country at that level, it doesn't get much better. On Lewis Skelly not being nominated for Young Player of the Year, it's nothing to do with me. We know what Miles has done this season. I think it's a sample size. It's very, very short. It's not about proving you could do it every month, but every 3, every 6, every year, every 3 years. It's the most difficult thing in football. And what working with Berta has been like in comparison to Edu. I know it is painful. I'm going to skip through it. He said 2 very different personalities, characters and backgrounds. He's someone with a clear idea, vision of how we want to achieve things. Let's skip it. And if we're fully aligned on what we want to do this summer, he said, On what we have to do, yes. On what we can do, I don't know. Sounds like an excuse again. We want this, but we can only do this. Yeah, we wanted Isak, but there's Sesko. It sounds like that. I don't like that kind of language. I told you, I don't speak waffleese. Someone needs to, translate this. I think sometimes from the plan that we had and actually what we're able to execute, we've never been able to replicate it exactly. This is football. It happens to every football club. That's why we plan certain ways. And okay, if we cannot do it, we do something else. I think the aim is clear. But then you just have to do it slowly, thing by thing, and start to achieve it. A big part of that as well is keeping and making sure that the players here are happy. They feel valued and willing to continue. That's important. I don't like that language. That's the kind of stuff that Wenger was saying when we were buying cheap players instead of the big players. I don't like that. And if we're not fully aligned on the players we want, he said, if that happens, that means we cannot explain ourselves well enough and we are not clear enough on what we want. I guarantee you that hasn't happened. It didn't happen in 5.5 years with Edu. I guarantee you the same with Andrea. They are good to say, Mikel, look this and this is what we need. And I say, go for it and do it. If not, it's because I will ask them many questions and we will do so much work that it will be so evident that this is what we don't have to do. It's not going to fit. We have learned a lot. Some of them that have worked really well and others not. And that's for the ones as well that we have to learn. So, well, to make sure that we make the right calls, but we are all human beings. Unfortunately, nobody's got a crystal ball here. So it's Mystic Meg we're looking for now. He says so much, I don't even know what he's saying now. Like, somebody please Google Translate. I don't speak waffleese. I don't even know what the guy's saying. And if the hierarchy of the top 6 has gone, I think the level has gone to something bigger. Yeah, we don't want to talk. That's boring. If Newcastle could be in the conversation of title contenders, who cares? And if we're relieved to not be involved in the Club World Cup, he said we would love to be part of that. If we'd have beat Bayern Munich last year, we would have qualified. And if the new transfer window creates an opportunity to exploit, he said there is an opportunity. If you can use it to benefit, then do it. And what we're planning to do another camp in pre-season. Players are demanding nowadays. It's impossible. Blah blah blah. Yeah. And if we'd like to get business done early, he said on paper, I think every club and manager wants to do it on day one. If it's taken for granted that we qualify for the Champions League, here we go. More Arsene Wenger questions, trying to make top 4 sound success. On Arsene Wenger saying that being in the top 4 is like winning a trophy. There we go. I don't know how those words were used in the past, so I'm not going to fall into that trap. You sound very much like you're in the same trap, my friend. That was painful. I'm going to apologize to everybody in the community that you had to listen to that. Reading it was even worse. That is horrendous. And I don't like some of the things that he's saying there. I really don't. I really don't. I do not like those things that he's saying about the transfer window. What we want to do and what we can do is often different. Is that a subliminal at the owners? Like, I'm trying to read into what he's saying there without, I feel like he's saying there, I wanted to make certain signings and I was only able to make these signings. I don't know. I don't know, people. Am I reading too much into it? Finally, before we round up, let me read out these super chats. Tayshik, big up, who's gifted a membership to someone in the community. Big up yourself. He's also said, I wonder about the dynamic between Berta and Arteta. Hope Arteta's grip is looser. Well, that's what needs to happen. And Ricky said, I didn't see as many margins in my books in 21 years. As many times I've heard this loser waffle about margins. It's going to get toxic next year. Ricky, let me tell you something. It will get toxic on Sunday afternoon if we get beat. I'm telling you now. Last home game of the season, sellout crowd, fans expecting a farewell of the season. If we get beat again by Newcastle for the 4th time in one season, you're going to see. They will be toxic this season. I'm telling you now. So we'll see. We will see, people. Just before we round up, the battle for second, people. Hold back your excitement. Contain yourselves. 1 win in our last 5 Premier League games. 3 draws, 1 defeat, and 1 win. Not really the way you should be going out in a season. When you think as well, people, Newcastle, Man City have scored more goals than us this season. Of course, Liverpool have as well. Has anyone else? 66 goals we've got. Tottenham got 63, yeah. You ain't going to win a league title with 66 goals. That's for sure. If Newcastle beat us tomorrow, they go above us, which would be a catastrophe. Man City could go level on points with us, although we do have better goal difference. So, listen, second and a Champions League run might get him away with it. If he ends up finishing third or fourth, it won't just be people like me who's saying, is this manager good enough? It will be the people that were actually celebrating him now saying, not good enough. 14 draws this season. 14 draws, people, is ridiculous. Yeah, Sunday, sorry, not tomorrow. Yeah, Sunday's the game. But we need to, listen, second, third, it's all the same thing. It's Champions League qualification, but it would be a very bad feeling finishing the season. But it might create some awareness for people that we're not as good as people think. You know, and what I mean by that is I'm looking at a positive from both situations. If we win, we should be all right, get second, morale remains reasonable. If we lose, at least it might expose some things that, listen, this team ain't as good as you think, and the manager's not as good as you think, and you need to look at things. So we will see. With 14 draws and no one got high, you know what I'm saying? 18 wins. Newcastle, Man City, Villa, they've won the same amount of games as us this season. Nottingham Forest are 7th. They have won the same amount of games as Arsenal this season. 18 wins out of 36. Liverpool have won 25. They've won 7 games more than us. We're nowhere near them. There was no title race this season. It's been a joke. It's been a joke. It's like giving Usain Bolt a head start. It's impossible. You're not catching him. Before you even get to 50 metres, he's at the finish line doing the lightning bolt celebration. It's done. This has been embarrassing. Even if we win our last 2 games, we get 74 points. We're 15 points down on last season. And I don't think we will win both games, to be honest. I think Newcastle will be difficult. Newcastle, second in a Carabao Cup. That's a great season for them. That's probably their best ever Premier League season. So it's sad because you look at them 14 draws, you think, if we had a prolific goal scorer, how many of those points change? How many draws turn into wins? Could we have still been in a title race going into last week at Anfield? But unfortunately, we've fallen short, people, and we need to learn from it quickly. Texas said, at least he didn't say tummy and creep us out. Yeah, man said, I have a pain in my tummy. Yeah, not good. Not good. Second in a Carabao Cup, eclipses us finishing second. Yeah, better season than us, but it is what it is, people. Anyway, I want to say a big thank you to everybody in the community, as always, for supporting the channel. I'll be back tomorrow for the FA Cup final. I'm not doing a watch-along tonight. I know Man United are playing Chelsea, but I'm not going to bother with that. Just going to chill tonight. Oh, yeah, and I did miss the Thomas Partey news. It was basically saying that Arsenal want to give him a 1-year deal. He wants 2. It's not breaking news, but hopefully they'll agree on a 1-year deal with a 1-year option. 4:30 kickoff tomorrow, FA Cup final. I'll be live at 4, so tune in for that. And then obviously Sunday, Arsenal against Newcastle. I'll have some short content out tonight and tomorrow morning as well, so keep a lookout for that. New York Knicks against Boston Celtics. I told Cruz tonight is the night the Celtics are being knocked out of the NBA championships by the Knicks, so we will see, people, how that goes for my NBA fans. Tatum has ruptured his ACL as well. He's out for 8 months, so Celtics could be heading home. People, big up. Enjoy your Friday. Take care, and I will see you all tomorrow, people. Bless.